should you get the first generation iPhone SE in 2024. So the iPhone SE was released back in 2016 and it was a predecessor to the second generation and third generation models. And soon enough, the fourth generation will be released this year. So let's go over the specs of this device. So first off, let's start off with the display of this phone. So this phone has an LCD display with a resolution of 1136 by 640. And even though that sounds really bad, keep in mind that this phone was only 4 inches diagonally, which is the same size as the iPhone 5, so the screen resolution was not really that noticeable. And this phone was at 326 pixels per inch. So this iPhone has 2GB of RAM with an Apple A9 chip, which is the same one on the iPhone 6s. So this phone did sort of act as an additional option if you didn't like the size of the iPhone 6s and iPhone 6s Plus, since the specs on these three devices were very similar. Now let's move on to the battery of this iPhone. So it has 1624 mAh, and that is not that much, but it's still okay, especially considering that this device is the same size as the iPhone 5. And just for reference, modern phones now have about 3,500 mAh of battery, so even though this phone doesn't have the best battery, it's still gonna work well. So let's go over the software support of the iPhone SE. So I'm gonna check this in general, then software update, and over here you'll see that I can only get up to iOS 15.8. So even though I can't get the latest iOS 17 or maybe iOS 18 at the time you're watching this, I can still get bug fixes. So Apple is still providing security for this iPhone for at least the next couple years. I also haven't had any problems downloading apps that are unsupported because almost all of the apps on the App Store are able to support iOS 15. Now that is it for the specs of this iPhone. Let's go over the price point. So by browsing on eBay, you'll be able to find some that are about $35, and I did manage to get mine for just $30, so it is a pretty good deal. Now that is it for this review. I hope this video helped you decide whether or not to get the iPhone SE, and if it did, be sure to subscribe to the channel and check out my future videos to see more content like this.